Hi, I'm Holly with Presence Point, and we are here with another Shepherds in Action video. And I'm super excited to be here with Sean. Sean and I met just a couple of days ago, and he's from Sherbrooke, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Quebec, Canada. And this guy has got a special gift. I've watched him with his wife and his two sons, and just interact with people here. And I just asked him, hey, would you do this? And he said yes. So, first question, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. First question.
All right,
See what we can
okay,
do.
here we go. Where do you shepherd?
So I shepherd a couple of places in Sherbrooke, as well kind of across the country of Canada, and a little bit into the United States, but that's kind of closer to New Hampshire and New England area. But I really deal with youth leadership development. Right now I'm dealing with a church, and I'm helping them bring up their new youth pastor. So we're working through that and what that looks like and kind of relationship and all of those things, as well as in the schools and just developing kind of a culture, and then really bringing out the relationship aspect in order to then really, not I guess bring about the gospel message, but in a way that's kind of conducive to the environment in which I'm in. So
And how about home?
At home, well, I mean, that's just, I think that goes without saying. And my wife and I we've been dating, I guess, and then together for, I guess, 11 years now. It's
Wow,
crazy.
no way.
Yeah, so we've been married for 5 years, and the Lord blessed us pretty quickly with a child, and Ezra, and then we had Emmanuel, and now we have baby X, we haven't named him, that's why, so it's, or her, I'm not sure, and we find out in August, or at the end of August. So
Soon. Okay,
so I've been leading there. My wife works as a teacher, and I work with Youth for Christ, so we've kind of been really working together on developing both of the sides of ministry, because she does just singer-songwriter, and so she really is dealing with that kind of thing, and so I'm pushing her and encouraging her through that. And it's different because she doesn't receive messages the way that I receive messages, so I have to shepherd her in a way that I don't get, I don't personally be shepherded as. And so it's interesting, really develops us and stretches us as a couple, and as me as a leader in the family.
But the cool part of that is you just demonstrated what a shepherd leader is. We change our style versus what the sheep need, right? And that's just a beautiful picture of that.
Yeah, definitely.
So these three pivotal elements of the leader shield: provision, protection, and presence. Which one's easiest for you?
Well, easiestly for me is presence. I don't know what it is. I just love to be with people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's natural for me. I can spend lots of time, a little time, and I'm really trying to just be with the person, right? And it really, I think inside of being presence, we start to know the things about people in which we can then, oh, that's a spark. And now I take that and I take that moniker down, and then the next time something shows up like that, I'm like, okay, now it's time to bring that in. And as we went through your seminar, you said 1, 2, and 3, and I was like, well, can I just go 1 with 1 and then 3 and 3? Because it's just, I really feel like with protection and provision, there's the areas I really need to work in. I don't really know the full answers yet. I know that I'm a risk taker, and so if you're a risk taker, protection's kind of a thing you kind of put in the back corner, because you're like, well, we're gonna try this and we'll see what happens. But I'm learning now that, and through your seminar, it's okay to take the risk, but I have to be willing to own up and take the brunt of that in order to protect these people as they move on in their journey, so that they can emulate that same kind of protection phase. And in provision, I have no clue what I'm doing there. So
Yeah, but I think you just said in protecting them, you're providing what they need. And there's wisdom when you take that risk. It's great to be a risk taker, and I'm with you on that one, big time, right? So, but there's wisdom in how you take the risk, right? So, you're thinking through it already more than you probably think you are. So, talk to me a little bit about what word of encouragement you'd give to other shepherd leaders. You're a young dad with young kids. How old are your kiddos?
we have 4.5, 2.5, and then I guess in the
baby
womb for
X.
3 months.
Right. So you've got these little ones, and you've got youth pastors you're mentoring. You've got even teens you're working with. Tell me, what word of encouragement would you like other people to hear, or would you have loved to heard from others maybe even earlier?
Well, I think the one thing that I've learned the most is a leader is someone who's just willing to stick it out and just continuously go, and it's all about calling, right? So if you're called to be a leader and to shepherd people, there's going to be those ups and those downs, and it's in the downs I find that we get the most growth in our character, right? I mean, I like the mountain analogy. You get to go up to the mountain, but once you get above the tree line, there's no nutrients there. The character doesn't grow. But in the valley, that's when we get on our knees, that's when we pray, that's when we grow, and that's where all the rich soil is, and so we get to be involved in people's lives there. So that's kind of the thing I would say, is just stick it out, and when the valley is approaching, just know that the growth is coming.
Wow. Okay, that's like really heavy. I'm thinking about that. Thinking, I'm on a video, I have to keep talking, but I'm just like, that is, like, just sit on that for a moment. And yeah, there's a president, a U.S. president, who talked about the fact of those highest peaks versus those lowest valleys, and how important those valleys really are in our lives. So And there we are back to Psalm 23 and a shepherd leadership. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, right?
Come on.
So I am, thank you, first of all, for your time. Thanks for your wisdom. Thanks for what you've shared. I know that if you are listening carefully today, when you hear Sean, you're going to also be touched. So I would just encourage y'all to live into your calling. He talked about if you're called to be a leader, and we think we're all called to be leaders, right? Whether it's laterally with our friends or in life leadership roles in our family, not just as a supervisor, manager, pastor, parent role, but even those that don't seem to have a formal, moniker to them. But so be blessed today. Live into your calling, and just think about what Sean said throughout the rest of your day. Be blessed. Bye.
Bye.